Oh, I'm tired. Will we stop and have a story? Let's go and do it in the shed. I thought I'd read this one in the shed, because this is where I like to invent things, fix things, try and make things out of bits and pieces that I've got lying about. And I've got lots of bits and pieces lying about. I haven't made that much though. Somebody who has made something with bits and pieces is a boy, now a man, called William Kamkwamba, and this is his true story. This book is called The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. It's by William Kamkwamba with a little bit of help from Brian Mealer. The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. In a small village in Malawi, where people had no money for lights, nightfall came quickly and hurried poor farmers to bed. But for William, the darkness was best for dreaming. What do you think William in Malawi was dreaming about? He dreamed of building things and taking them apart, like the trucks with bottle cap wheels parked under his bed, and pieces of radios that he'd crack open and wonder, if I can hear the music, then where's the band? His grandpa's tales of magic also whispered in the pitch black of his room. Witch planes passed through the window while ghost dancers twirled around the room as if 100 men were inside their bodies. At dawn, in the fields, William scanned the maize rows for magical beings, and then wondered as a truck rumbled past, how does its engine make it go? Pay attention where you throw that hoe, his father shouted. You'll cut off your foot. For all its power over dancers and flying things, magic could not bring the rain. Without water, the sun rose angry each morning and scorched the fields, turning the maize into dust. Without food, Malawi began to starve. Soon, William's father gathered the children and said, "From now on, we eat only 1 meal per day. Make it last." In the evenings they sat around the lantern and ate their handful, watching hungry people pass like spirits along the roads. Money also disappeared with the rain. "Pepani," his father shouted, "I am sorry. You will have to drop out of school." Now William stood on the road and watched the lucky students pass, along with the monsters in his belly and the lump in his throat. For weeks he sulked under the mango tree, until he remembered the library down the road, a gift from the Americans. He found science books filled with brilliant pictures. With his English dictionary close by, William put together how engines moved those big trucks, and how radios pulled their music from the sky. But the greatest picture of all was a machine, taller than the tallest tree, with blades like a fan. A giant pinwheel, something to catch magic. Slowly, he built the sentence, "Windmills can produce electricity and pump water." He closed his eyes and saw a windmill outside his home, pulling electricity from the breeze and bringing light to the dark valley. He saw the machine drawing cool water from the ground, sending it gushing through the thirsty fields, turning the maize tall and green, even when farmers' prayers for rain went unanswered. This windmill was more than a machine. It was a weapon to fight hunger. "Megetsi Amfepo," he whispered. I will build electric wind. In the junkyard, pieces appeared like rusted treasures in the tall grass. A tractor fan, some pipe, and bearings and bolts that required every muscle to move. "Tonga!" he'd shout to the birds and spiders, holding up his prize. But as William dragged his metals home, people called out, "This boy is misala. Only crazy people play with trash." After many weeks, William arranged his pieces in the dirt: a broken bicycle, rusted bottle caps, and plastic pipe. Even a small generator that powered a headlight on a bike. For 3 days he bolted, banged and tinkered while chickens squawked and dogs barked and neighbours shook their heads saying, "What's Miss Sala doing now?" His cousin Geoffrey and best friend Gilbert soon appeared. "Mulai Bwanji," they greeted. "Can we help with electric wind?" "Grab your pangas and follow me," he said, and took them into the forest. Together they swung their sharp blades into the trunks of blue gum trees, then hammered them together to make the tower. Standing atop, William shouted, "Bring it up!" while the boys tugged and heaved. A crowd gathered below and gazed at this strange machine that now leaned and wobbled like a clumsy giraffe. Some giggled, others teased, but William waited for the wind. Like always, it came. First a breeze, then a gusting gale, and the tower swayed and the blades spun round. With sore hands, once slowed by hunger and darkness, William connected wires to a small bulb, which flickered at first, then surged as bright as the sun. "Tonga!" he shouted. "I have made electric wind!" "Wachita bueno!" a man yelled. "Well done!" As the doubters clapped and cheered, William knew he had just begun. Light could not fill empty bellies, but another windmill could soak the dry ground, creating food where once there was none. "Magetsi Amfepo, electric wind can feed my country," William thought. And that was the strongest magic of all. So when this book, or this story happened, William was just a teenager. William now is a grown man and spends half his time in Malawi, where he's trying to set up a technology centre, and he continues to build wind turbines to generate electricity and to provide irrigation. And the other half of his time he spends in America, studying, working hard at school, colleges, universities, and meeting people and speaking to people about renewable energy. Last year, in 2019, we were lucky enough to have William Kamkwamba visit Aberdeen in person. And he spent a whole day speaking to primary school children, secondary school children, teachers and people that worked in the energy industry. And he had a couple of really good pieces of advice for anybody out there. If you're trying to get from A to B and things get in your way, remember there's always a way around it. And you just have to be able to solve that problem and work hard and think differently to do it. Even if people are calling you names and doubting that you can do it. Just like William, he focused and he managed to do it. So I hope you enjoyed that story. It's a story that we've worked with at the Montgomery Development Education Centre for years and years and years, and we've worked with the Scotland-Malawi Partnership in Edinburgh, and now we've worked with William Kamkwamba himself. So if your teachers would like to get in touch and find any more resources or use any of the things that we have to help teach this story, and all the global things that go with it, then just get in touch, and hopefully I'll be in a school with you soon. Thanks. See you later.